I'm Laurence. I'm an organizer of the GTG Montreal, Women Tech Makers Montreal. I do Android as a day-to-day job I work at Transit. But now I'm here to talk about what is the best announcement in Android at Google I/O. So Google I/O released a lot of a new phone, foldable phone, and a new tablet. They are like, tablet and large screen is good again. Like 6 years ago, it was like tablet, tablet. And after that, it's fall. But now they're like, this is the real good time to invest in tablet. We will see if like people will reuse tablet this time. But they are providing some help to make sure that your app works with large screens and like handle more everything that can be, like we know we have Samsung that have foldable phone for like 2 years and more, but now Google announced it, so it's important. So one part, they are providing some guidance about like the width, how can you resize your screen and everything, and they want like to make sure that you know about the best practice, what to show where, what the kind of animation, or the navigation bar you should use for differing the size of the screen. So like a compact one versus a full navigation bar versus just the small stack navigation bar at the bottom. There is super information about that. I'm not super excited about that, but starting with like the slow announcement that is not that the best one, so I can like talk about more interesting announcement. They are releasing new software to help create Watch, because Watch is good again. We will try. Like it was complicated in the past to like create a watch face with Wear OS. Now they're like, we're good. We're creating AI. They announce AI everywhere at Google I/O. It's like AI, AI. Did you know about AI? We can put AI in this and this, and they put like a new way of like a new format to describe what is a watch face. And they create a watch face studio, so you can just draw and put things there, and it will generate the standard format that will work with Samsung Watch and Google Watch to create watch face. So if you want a super watch face to say, my company is good, or just for fun, like it's easy now to create. They also add animation, because it was not that easy to do animation with Watch Star. So now you can use like the normal spring and other thing to create super good animation, because pixel perfect and animation made a difference in everything. One thing they introduce also is about everything about Android Health. What is Health is all the application like fitness. I want to know if I'm sick or anything. For now, if you created an application that is more focused on fitness and everything, and you want to share to another app, so you can like share data, I have a connected device, I want like my watch that is not a Google one to talk and give information to other apps. It was super complicated. There was different API, and there was no standardized thing. And for permission, you need to go to every app to decide which permission I want to give to everything. Do I want to let people know about exercise and everything? Now they like centralize everything in a new dashboard on your phone in Android 14 that is L-Connect, and it's more simple, easier like to enable and disable every privacy, and like to create every watch about that. They announced Compose for TV, because Compose is now the new way of doing Android. They started in the like 2-3 years ago about like bringing Compose to the table, and now they're like Compose everywhere. It's faster, it's intuitive, it's accelerated development. So like they are giving a new tool and new material to make easier to do a TV app, and like they have a lot of good documentation about that. What's new in Google Play? So Google Play, if you don't know, it's where you decide to monetize your apps. Just make sure. I'm not sure. How many of you doing Android? Is it your first time here? I'm not sure the audience where. So who is Android? Do people know about technology? Yes? OK, do people code sometimes in their life? OK, good. web, more web, more flat. Okay, so just to make sure like how deep I go or like how do I explain everything, but yeah. So in the platform, they put AI, of course, to generate a new way of listing how we will represent the application on the store. So they can generate a small listing, which you just need to put some different contact. I'm not in a good slide. Yeah. I will talk about this slide after this one. So I was talking about this slide. You can like create with some input. You say my app is that, and it will generate for you all of the listing and a way of like making sure your app is good on the store and make less sentences so it's faster. They also enable new things like if someone installs your app and disable your and remove your app. You want to know this person. Why do they remove your app? You want to bring this person back to like install your app and everything. So you can now customize like kind of campaign or some view on the store to attract more of those people, changing the text for them to make sure they want to come back and install your app. And you can create group depending. It's Halloween. We want Halloween kind of whatever. We like that. They put AI everywhere in the review for user now. So they will just like grab a lot of the review and like show it next to your app. But you don't have control about that. It's the AI that will decide which comments will be next to your app. So hopefully you have a lot of good review because I hope eventually they will help us like make that, yeah. People will see what is that. This is a resume of I/O with AI. So with AI, they decided to introduce for developer in Android a studio bot. So what is a studio bot? It's a chat like every kind of bot, but for code. So what is only available in the USA, or if you're in a network with USA on it, just saying you decide what you do with your life. And they don't check if you're not really there. You just need to be in a network that is in the USA. Shh. No. But yeah, so you can write some questions saying, I don't know, how do I create a list? Or explain me what is the new process of that. And it will like give you the answer. Sometimes it's wrong, like from a testing, but it's still new. So it's like it will evolve with time. And you can also put some code there. A fun fact about, I think it is super important is people don't want to like share all their code to AI because like, you know, your company, they have like secret and everything. So the chat AI will only see what you put in there. It will not read your code and generate tests for you and everything. You need to copy paste your code in the chat. And by doing so, you're enabling Google to see it because it will receive it, send it to like its chat and give you some feedback. Also, yeah, it can generate documentation, other stuff. So it's powerful, but it's new, and it still have a lot of errors. Sometimes it tell you that you can do this, and it's wrong. But yeah, if you want to enable that in Android Studio for the one that use Android Studio, you can go in the settings, and there is like the view window Studio Bot, and you will need to be on the USA server for now until they will release like the Canada, and they ask you to log in. So they know that you're not really, they just want, yeah, you need to log in to access this feature. Now I will, oh yeah, it's working. I will show you a little bit of a demo that I played with it yesterday to showcase a little bit how it's works. So they propose you some question like to show you what they can answer. Like if I want to ask permission, how it's working. This is a snippet, the explanation of how it's work. And like this is the snippet of code that you can copy paste or like drag it and create thing. So it's kind of, and it puts reference at least. So you know where the source is coming from. But you can like create other things like data classes. It's always on, so it creates me this contact class, and I can like directly create the class by only clicking, and it will generate the data for me. After that, I was like, okay, that's nice, but like, give me a list of fake data about it. If you put fake, it doesn't understand fake. But a list of data, it will generate fake data that you can use for testing. It's really useful because very soon, sometimes I'm not good for creating fake data, and I lose a lot of time for that. Also, this is compose, so I'll create a compose view of the contact, so it creates me all the text. And also, yeah, where am I? Yeah, after that, I'm like, okay, this is the composable for a contact, but I want a list of contacts. And create me the code, and I just copy paste there. And after that, I ask, show me the preview, like create me a preview of that list. It will use everything that was in the chat but before. And it will like use my contact list that we created before and everything. So I can copy paste that, and the preview will load automatically with what the AI generated. I know this is a super easy, shitty example. In real life, you're like, oh, I will copy paste my complicated class that have, I don't know, many rows and everything. Don't do that because Google can read everything. And sometimes I ask the same question multiple times and give me different answer. And sometimes they are wrong and they don't work. But it's a start. And like AI will come, it's not only Google. Google doing AI, only because ChatGPT came first. And they wanted to be like the first one in AI, so it's been like 6 months and more that they are trying to like bring the same capacity. This is why they released Barb to like do a composition of chat AI, and they're like, okay, there's a lot of Copilot, GitHub, and everything. We need to have like our bot everywhere. So they are full in introduce AI and everything. This is why they announced like Gmail AI, everything put AI on it. It's mostly Google I/O this year. But yeah, so we can use that, but remember AI like try to do things from what he learned, and sometimes it will give you wrong answers, and you need to still know how to code to make things, because I asked like, oh, move like create a face for my contact and move it to the left, and move it to the left, it was not able to do it. It was creating good code, but in that context was not working because it didn't like check everything. It will come better. But for everything like generating fake data or like going faster or create a small algorithm for do a tree or something, checking in like for loop or like a tree of data, it's kind of cool, but you don't want to give it everything. Also, in the tooling, they help us create animation. We can like preview the animation. It's more easier. It's like a paint for animation in Android now. So at least like you can like try to resize with time and like make sure that the color and everything. They also introduce a new way of monitoring what is going on with the power of a phone. Sorry for all of you that are not like developer for Android or iPhone, whatever. But usually our main, when the app doesn't care enough, it will drain your battery because we have limited resources on any phone. So we want to make sure that we don't like use all the capacity of your phone every time. And this profiler makes us know what is draining your phone. So it's helping a lot for debugging that, because otherwise you're like, I think when I plug a lot of GPS or running, the app is not good enough, but you have no clue. You don't have like the real data easily to watch. Like you can like add log and like time out and see, oh, okay, I can create graph or something, but now it's super easier, so we don't have excuse anymore to drain your battery. Sorry. Also, they introduce a way of seeing all the crash directly in DED, so we can like go faster and fix everything that's going in production. So instead of going like to the website saying, this is a crash, and this is the trace log, now you can like navigate in your code because you can point where it thinks like the code crash or where it crashes and give you more information. And also StudioBot sometimes is like, I can maybe help you to find things about this bug. So this is good. For those of you who know Compose or Flutter, like the principle of Compose is that we are drawing a lot. We are redrawing, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, wait, recomposition. I'm trying to explain what is a composition. But like, you're describing your view, and everything on your view is what you will see. And like you receive usually a lot of data, and the view auto-refreshes itself only if the data changes. So you want to know where the data changed for making the view recompose, but because if you have too much recomposition, it will slow down your app, so you need to optimize that to make sure that it doesn't compose every time you receive the same data. It should not redraw the view. It just show the view one time and don't touch it after that. And since Compose is kind of new, there was not a good way of knowing which data did make my view recompose. You can know like, oh, my view just redraw, but why did it redraw? Like everything is supposed to be like the same data, stable, doesn't work. So they introduce a recomposition state, so you can see all the data that came to this view, and if it changed, it will say it changed, it's unchanged, and you can see which one is causing the problem and fix it. So it will be good. They introduced a new ML kit mesh detection for face. So now, if you put a face and you use this API, you will be able to create the mesh automatically and recognize and do what you want with that information. I'm not good for a picture or anything like that. Super fast, Android 14 is coming. I know we already announced it. There are a new screenshot detection. So if you take a screenshot, like we can know there is a toast about that, and like we can do information, copy paste the screenshot more easily. Like when you were copying text on a phone, usually when you go in another context, you can paste it, but now you can do that with screenshot. So this is interesting. We can like implement that more in apps and everything. They also introduce more privacy in every way, so you can control a lot of things. And now they will show you when we use location and we share to partner. Like Google already know, we already, when we submit an application, say to Google, this is I'm using location only for my apps, or I'm using location and I'm also sharing this location to other people. So they will show you that your location may be shared to third parties. So if you want to enable it or not, you're aware. But sometimes it can be super scary, and sometimes the application just like give an approximate of something. People are more doing that kind of thing in this city, but it's still sharing location if it's not, even if it's not your real precise location. So I'm not sure how it will evolve and what will be the impact on everything. Yeah, you can like give partial access to like your photo, so like the application doesn't have access to all the picture on your app. You can just select what you want. And also they introduce a new predictive badge gesture that developer can implement. So we have an animation when someone do a back and make people know more the gesture navigation that we have in Android. And Nav will talk a little bit more about everything that's go there and how it's work and yeah.
What is the gesture?
Yeah, you can swipe left or right at the edge to do a back, to go back to every screen. And if you swipe up, it will show you all the applications that you have. So in Android, there was like the button at the bottom that it was back, left, middle, the circle, and like the home to go back. They changed that 2-3 years ago that you can enable or disable which one you want. So you have a virtual button if you prefer in the setting, or you have the gesture that is, if I swipe left or right on the edge of the phone, not in the middle, it will go back. And like swiping on the top, it will show you the other app that you can swipe out and things like that. So now if you do a back with a gesture, it will kind of create the animation for you, but the application needs to like enable and do some stuff so it works. And now we'll talk a little bit more about that. But it will help also people like, I don't know, I was just swiping and why my app like dismiss. Like they will have an animation saying, I will dismiss, so if you don't want, like swipe the other side and you're fine, you're still in the application. So that's kind of new, and like they want to remove like the button everywhere and people use that. But I think they will still keep that you can enable the bottom and it's like a fake navigation bar on the bottom to make people and maybe old people that doesn't want like to learn new technology. Everybody that doesn't want to learn new technology, at some point you're like, I just want my button to say back and I want my phone to like be a phone and call. So, but yeah, if you prefer navigation, I just use navigation on my own apps, on my phone since 3 years and more. It's faster, like you get the gesture and like it's easy to navigate between everything and yeah. So summary, it was AI everywhere. We put AI. You want AI? Like this is a really like it's a TikTok I saw, but it's really that he put like I think more than 100 times he say AI in like in the keynote, but like introducing AI and AI and AI. So that's mostly it for Android. That was the announcement, and yeah, I will let you. We'll take a small break, but not that much, just to do the transition and let you see what's new in Flutter. And if you want to go in Android development and everything, we have a meetup and we also have a Slack. So you can come on the Slack and we have a channel for a beginner and like we try to like help each other to evolve in that. And yeah, always looking for developers.